Pertussis, also known as whooping cough, is on the rise locally. Merritt Bates Thomas of the Green River District Health Department is here to help us understand what we're seeing, what's going on. So, this just came across our table yesterday that they're seeing more cases with adults and children. So what are you all hearing at the Green River District?
Very similar, and I think Owensboro Health reported out yesterday as well, along with Deaconess, and the Kentucky Department for Public Health issued some statements similar to Deaconess as well. So you hate to say 'tis the season, but it is respiratory virus season, and just to be aware, to stay up to date on those vaccines. Pertussis has become a little more common. We have seen an increase in the number of cases, and it can be a bit cyclical in that maybe every 3 to 5 years you might see those increased numbers of cases, and it appears this happens to maybe be one of those years.
2013 was what was reported yesterday as the last big surge like this.
Right.
So what is whooping cough?
It's a respiratory virus. It's been around, I believe it was first isolated in the early 1900s. The first vaccine was available within about 5 years after that, 1914, I believe. But widespread vaccination for pertussis didn't really start until about the 1940s, I believe. So, and it's combined, it's DTaP for infants. So it includes diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis. Then it transitions to Tdap, that is given as the booster at the various stages in life. So it's a series of 5 shots beginning at 2 months of age, and then a booster, I believe, somewhere in the range of 11 to 12 years. And then it's suggested you get that booster maybe about every 10 years because of it protecting against tetanus, but now protecting against pertussis.
Well, if you don't know, for an example, if you're a grandparent, you've got little children around you, or a parent, and you're going to be exposed to that, what if you don't know you had a DTaP in the past and you don't know, there wasn't a record kept or whatever? Can you have one? I mean, what's the
records
span?
Are typically kept when that vaccine or immunization is given to you. It's transcribed somewhere and that record's kept. So in Kentucky, we have the Kentucky Immunization Registry. You can reach out to your healthcare provider if you have a primary provider, or you can go to the Kentucky Immunization Registry, and there's a public portal on the side where you can click on that. You enter in just some basic information about yourself, and it'll pull up your immunization record. I double-checked mine. I knew the date that I'd had mine, because one of the things we were talking about before we went on air was, in particular for young children, they're recommending pregnant women get their boost between 27, 36 weeks of pregnancy. That begins to work on that unborn child so that until they're 2 months of age, they have a limited bit of protection. But it's also recommended then that everyone in that infant circle is protected as well. So hopefully children in the family are up to date on their vaccines. But it's really important for grandparents, and that's how I remembered the date of my booster, was I'd gotten it before the birth of my first granddaughter. So.
Well, I mean, that just makes us mindful, because I think in my own folly have thought of this as strictly an illness of children, and not now we're seeing these adult cases of pertussis.
Right. So the key thing to keep in mind is you could be exposed in a public setting, not realize you have been. The symptoms very early on are much like a cold, but pay attention. It's that cough that may linger. The earlier you seek out medical advice, get treatment going, be it an antibiotic, and then you take action like that and protect others as well. You know, the ideal we learned during the pandemic, if you're sick, stay home. Find out what's going on and seek out the appropriate medical treatment.
Right. Take care of yourselves and wash those hands, right?
Yes.
Wash those hands. Thanks, Merritt. We'll be right back with Susanna's Cranberry Dish. Stay with us.